Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show. This is episode number 198, inching our way every week to episode number 200. We're ready for that milestone. My name is Jason. I am the owner of Outdoor Legacy, and as always, I've got my co-host of the Hans East Texas YouTube channel, as well as the number one salesman at Outdoor Legacy. It is a very, very tough list to get there. Mr. Hans East Texas, what's going on?
You know, when I came on board with Outdoor Legacy, the first day I was the top salesman and been that way ever since, because I think you pretty much relinquished some of that role to trying to actually run the business, but you still make a lot of phone calls, and I was actually thankful for that today because we were pretty busy and you jumped right in, so it kind of helped out.
We were busy. Well, I'll say this. We don't keep up with the numbers of who sells what. People will say, hey, you know, I mean, when I call back to order and let somebody know I talked to you, whatever, like, no, man, we don't do it that way. We're all good. You can talk to anybody. There's no commissions and whatever. But so we just say that you're the top salesman. Okay. I mean, it's probably not true. I'm probably still the
probably so.
No. Yeah,
probably so.
No. Well, what's going on? So, I know that right now, y'all, I'm just going to tell you this. If you're looking at this video on YouTube and Hans's head can't be seen in the whole video, if it's like so big that it is going out of the sides and the top of his screen, it's because he's got some bragging to do. Maybe you're going to tell us about that later?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that after our topic, but definitely stay tuned for that because, I've been walking around with a little bit of big head for about 24 hours
He's got
now.
the big head.
So
he's got the big head.
First of all, we need to talk about a milestone. Then we're going to get into some Bering Optics talk. But we, I did mention it, but we crossed over 8,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
And it seems like It seems like a couple months ago we were talking about 5,000, but I know it's been longer. But 8,000 subscribers, y'all, on YouTube alone. We're getting almost close to 100,000 views a month on episodes and past episodes. So, I mean, it's inching up there closer and closer. And yes, we've got a lot of subscribers. Thank you very much. Also, I wanted to mention, you can now keep our fingers crossed that Jason's going to keep up with it, but you can watch these episodes also on Facebook. And I'm going to hold him to it because now I've set it live and on the air, so that means he has to stick to it and actually keep posting them on Facebook. So the last 3 weeks, I think we've been doing that. So if you're a person that, hey, I'm always on Facebook, but I don't get on on YouTube that much, you should be able to watch the full episodes of our podcast there the same day. Thursday might not be as early as you can see it on YouTube, but it'll hopefully still be up there at some point on every Thursday.
Yeah, so all you got to do, if you want to do that, again, some people just tell me they have Facebook pulled up on their computer and, they like to just leave it there, whatever, kind of throughout the day. If that's something you do, then you can go to either the Late Night Vision Show Facebook page or the Outdoor Legacy YouTube page. I'm posting them to the Late Night Vision page. It's hosting them there on Facebook, but then I'm sharing it on the Outdoor Legacy page as well. So you could watch it on either one of those. You can always still go to YouTube if that's the way you prefer to watch it. No problem. We just had some people saying that, they like to do that. Also, we found out that Facebook does not really like promoting or sharing any of the videos that are taking people to YouTube because it's taking them off their site. So, all these social media companies have kind of got to play in their own little sandbox, and I get that. So definitely we are uploading them there if you would like to watch them.
Yeah.
There you can do that. Still, a lot of people don't know this, but we are, all these podcasts are available on any of the major and minor podcast apps. Right. So if you're driving in your truck and maybe you're on a trip, you're trying to, if you're trying to stay awake, don't listen to us because we'll put you to sleep. But if you're driving down the road and you need something to listen to, be entertained, you can always go to whatever podcast app you've got. And if you got an iPhone and maybe you don't listen to podcasts, there's a podcast app. You can just, search at the top of your phone for podcast. There's an app there. It's basically in iTunes. You can search the Late Night Vision Show and find it. If you're on an Android, you can find us on there too. Google Play Store, Spotify, wherever. and you can listen to it. You won't get to see our faces, but that's probably a good thing. And so definitely you don't have to miss an episode that way if you're traveling and you want to listen. So
if
thank you for all the subscribers, all the views, all the likes and the comments. It means a lot to us.
So if you're watching on Facebook for the first time, or if you're watching on YouTube, hop over to Facebook. I know most of you have a Facebook account. Like it. If you could, share it, like the page, comment. We'd really love to kind of spread out a little bit on Facebook. We're really late to the game on it, but man, and all other platforms, we're doing really good. The show's growing like crazy. So thank y'all. That being said, we're going to be, and stay tuned for the end of the show, because again, we got some good stuff to talk about, but we're talking about Bering Optics. And I'm going to tell you, Jason, since our show, we did our Bering Optics show, basically talking about new stuff for 2020.
Shot show.
Shot show. We called it the Shot Show for 2022. Talked about some new stuff that we saw, but there is a lot of confusion. And I'm going to say that at some point, you and I might have been confused at one point as far as...
at one point, I stay confused.
Exactly. No.
I get up confused. I go to bed confused. There was about a lot of things.
There was a lot of talk on social media. There was a lot of talk coming from a lot of different places on the internet. There was not a lot of super informative details, I think, coming out of Bering Optics around the SHOT Show. Maybe they were trying to hold it and get some... real positive release or press release, that kind of stuff. But we want to clear everything up, because we've got a lot of clarification to do. We've got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of making sure that you know exactly what they're coming out with, the details, and that'll help you for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. And I do want to say this. I spoke to Bering about this, and their reply, very understandable. They said we had some people sick with COVID right there around the SHOT Show. Didn't make it to the show. There were some staff changes. There were some things going on. The owners of Bering were not there in Vegas at the booth. So there was, again, sickness, a lot of things going on. So there's some confusion. We did not get all of the info. Now, what I will say is I don't think we got a lot of bad info. I just don't think we got a lot of info in the booth, and we ended up getting a lot more shortly after. And so there's been a lot of changes, all positive, and we just want to kind of go over some of this and bring some of this up, because there's some stuff that's happening now. I mean, immediately, and I think people need to know about them. And so let's just jump into this. So we're going to run this down. This is all info that has been given to me in writing from Bering. Okay, so if this is wrong, don't shoot the messenger. I don't believe it is wrong. I mean, we've got it in writing that this is what's going on. Yep. So we're excited about talking about this, because this is all good stuff. Again, some of it was kind of a shock to us. I mean, because it was like we didn't know it was going to happen, but it's really good. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Bering laser rangefinder, the LRF models. These were teased out at SHOT Show. We didn't have much information, but here's what we know now. It's not a lot more, but it is helpful. So there will be a Super Hogster LRF laser rangefinder. Bering says that model, now this is the estimate. Folks, this is 2022. If you remember 2021 and 2020, new products and estimates are only estimates. Anything can happen, but the estimated release date for the Super Hogster LRF is going to be the third quarter of 2022. Okay, so that's going to be if all goes well, a late summer release. And they don't have firm pricing. The pricing they're shooting for is somewhere around $3,500. It might be 36, might be 34. They're just saying around $3,500, give or take. Hopefully not more than that. So if you're looking for a Super Hogster laser rangefinder, good news, they plan on having one. Bad news, it's going to be a wait. It's going to be a while. Third quarter. All right. So on the exact same note, we talked about the Bering Optics Super Yoder laser rangefinder. Again, this is their 3-power, 640, 12 micron, high resolution scope. We've talked about it, reviewed it, love it. I mean, just a fantastic scope. This optic, again, will have a laser rangefinder right now. The ETA on this is fourth quarter of 2022. So that's going to be, late fall. If you don't know what the quarters are, October, November, December, fourth quarter. So sometime probably, during hunting season of this late year is probably when we'll see that. They don't have, again, a firm price, but they're looking to keep that around, what it sounds like now. They're saying $49.99, $5,000, give or take, maybe a little less, maybe about that. So that's a really, really good price. I'm really excited to hear that both these scopes are coming later in the year, and the prices sound really good. But moving along, there is some new stuff here that we're going to talk about. And again, this is, I'm looking here to see. I think there's maybe one thing we knew about, but there's 4 new optics coming very, very soon, like immediately. So I'm going to talk about the first ones. It's going to be called the Hogster Vibe, Vibe, the Hogster Vibe. Now, what is that, you say? It is the replacement for the current Hogster R25 and Hogster R35. That is Bering's, entry-level type optics that are under $3,000. Those units are going to be immediately replaced. So the next shipments that we get will be Hogster Vibes. Those are actually the email they sent us said they could ship this week, the week that you're watching this, which is Valentine's week 2022. So maybe they're not going to ship this week. Maybe it's a week or 2 out, but they said they could start shipping now. So, I mean, this is an immediate release. So again, just to be clear, the Hogster R25 and 35, those 2 units will be replaced with the Hogster Vibe 25 and 35. What is the Vibe? It's the exact same scope as the very, very popular 25 and 35 Hogster, but they're going to have internal video recording and Wi-Fi for a smartphone app. Yeah. So that is really good. Now, I'm going to give you the prices here real quick. Hogster Vibe 25, replacing the Hogster R25. It's going to be a 1.4 base magnification, up to 5.6, 25 millimeters, just like the other scope, all the same. It's going to look the same, right? Okay? It's just going to have the video recording and Wi-Fi on the inside. And the price is going to be $22.95. So we've got a little bit of a price jump here, small jump from, because actually the Hogster R25 had been $22.95. The price had dropped. Now it's just kind of going back to where it was. So still really good price, $22.95. Yep. And then we've got the Hogster Vibe 35, 2 to 8 power, 35 millimeter, $25.95. Currently, the Hogster R35 is $25.75. Yeah. So we're talking about a $25 jump, not a big jump at all. And or $20, I guess I should say. $20 jump, $25.95. Again, same scopes, but they will have video, no audio, but video recording and, the Wi-Fi for the smartphone app. And I will tell you this, we will be reviewing these as soon as we get our hands on them. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, we expect this review to be very, very, very similar to our review of the previous Hogster, 25 and 35, because we think they're going to be basically the same scope. But it's a new scope. Yeah. I mean, it's a new model, new name, new SKU, new everything. We've got to review these because what they are, people are going to be looking for the new scopes. You want to make sure they got the latest information of what they are. So don't worry if you have an interest in this and you go, well, I don't even know what the old Hogster is. Well, guess what? You're gonna get a review just as soon as we can get our hands on these and do a little bit of testing out.
This is a big deal. So especially for the number one selling model of those 2 is the Hogster 35, the one with a little bit more base magnification. I mean, 2 to 8 power is great for hog hunting. You could do some coyote hunting with it. It's just a good all around base magnification. But for $20 more, you're getting the video recording and you're getting Wi-Fi. What that gives a lot of people the ability to do, not just record the hunts, which was a big selling advantage for this scope's biggest competitor because it already had video recording. Now it kind of levels the playing field a little bit as far as value, but a lot of you out there more and more are talking about, hey, I want to get one of these, less expensive binoculars like this, the Hogster 25 or 35, and mount it on the top of my truck or mount it on the top of my side-by-side, my mule or your Ranger Polaris or whatever with these, pan tilt mounts that you can put on cars and trucks. A good thing for you because the Wi-Fi allows you to do that now. But again, it's an expanding. It's what we've seen in the market here, an expanding of value, more feature rich, prices in some cases coming down or being very stable. I mean, you look at it, you're getting video, audio, Wi-Fi, $20 more on their most popular model in that price range. It's a big deal, y'all. The Vibe, we can debate if that's an awesome name. And hey, it doesn't matter what it's called. It's still a great scope. But yeah, the Vibe just means, hey, we're just vibing out here. Everything's cool. Just vibing.
Exactly.
Just vibing.
And these things will still have the 4-year warranty.
4-year warranty.
Bering is known for.
Yep.
So, fantastic price, exciting news. We'll always take more features and, any kind of improvements like that. We're always about it. So yeah, very, like Hans said, very, very small price increase, even on this Hogster, Vibe 25. I mean, $100 increase here to get that, no problem. There's a lot of guys who'd given a lot more than that because your only other option was external video recorders, cables, all that. I mean, those recorders, and the cable is going to cost you $250. I mean, this is a way, way easier, way better video. So anyway, excited about that. Now we got to move along because we got a couple of things to talk about. This one caught us off guard. This is, and hey, by the way, folks, I'm going to say something real quick. I didn't want to interrupt him. A while ago when Hans was talking about mounting these things on top of your truck or your side-by-sides, he said something about monocular and he meant scope.
Oh, did I?
Just if you heard that and you caught that and you're like, well, we were talking about scopes. He was referring to the Vibes, but he said monocular. He meant
some
scope,
people like
so.
to mount the monoculars on their trucks. But
they do.
Yeah, the binoculars. But this gives people the ability with a scope because sometimes they want both. They want a scope that they could use as a binocular. So that,
absolutely.
And we have people that are mounting other scopes in the same price range as on top of vehicles and stuff. But yeah, that with a Picatinny rail.
Yeah. I just want to make sure there wasn't any confusion there. So yeah, that's definitely an option now. Oh, we've got Wi-Fi and streaming in here for sure. So, all right. Didn't mean to cut you off. Just want to say that. Back to the big one. I think this is what Bering Optics is known for. If you ask me, if you said, what is the one thing that Bering Optics makes that just, gosh, that's got the name, they've sold so many of them, that is the Super Hogster. All right, that is, in my opinion, it's the old standby. I mean, it is just a fabulous scope, and I don't even want to know how many they've sold. I mean, it's just got to be piles and piles of these things because it is a really good scope. So there is going to be a slight change to the Super Hogster. It is now going to be called the Super Hogster A3. That's A like alpha, A3. And I noticed there in kind of some of their specs, it says anytime, anywhere, any place. So it's the A3. So that's the model. And again, these units, I want to be clear, they're replacing the previous models. So it's not like these are coming out and the others are still going to be. These are all replacements. It's still going to be the same 2.9 to 11.6 power, 35 millimeter. The current price has been $3,120. The new price is going to be $3,195. So basically going up, I'm not good at math. What is that? $70 bucks, $75 going up. And here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a new OLED display, 1024 by 768 resolution. The previous display was an LCOS that was a 1280 by 960 resolution. So I know I'm waiting. Key the comments, key the questions,
Yeah.
or cue them, I should say. Cue the comments and questions. So what does this mean? Is it better? Why is it going down in resolution? An OLED display, generally speaking, is going to be better than an LCOS. This is considered an upgrade. And you say, yeah, but wait a minute, we're going down in resolution. What's that really going to mean? I don't know. What I suspect it's going to mean is that the quality of the OLED is going to outweigh the little bit higher resolution. I mean, very, very small higher resolution of the LCOS. So this is considered an upgrade. We'll just see how they play out. If there's going to be any noticeable difference side by side, we'll have to look at that and let you know. I mean, that's something we're just going to have to see. I don't think this is going to be a giant difference. Now, I'm going to mention these next two things here before we just keep going on here. It's also going to have a new manual contrast adjustment in the scope. We really like that. That's something that I really felt was lacking in this scope. It's just going to help you fine tune the adjustment in your scope. That's something that the Super Yoders have from Bering. And we really, really liked that when we saw it. Just think it helps you get a little better image. So a new manual contrast adjustment. And then also they're taking the internal memory from 16 gigabytes to 32. And when I say memory, what that means is how many videos you can store. That's where the videos are stored. So they're going to double that from 16 to 32, way more storage. So just real quick, new OLED display, new manual contrast adjustment, and doubling the internal memory. What does that really mean? We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to go on the record, and I'm going to say this right now. I don't believe this is going to be a change that if you have a Super Hogster, you're going to need to run and go sell yours to buy this one. To be honest, I kind of hope I'm wrong. I hope it's that much better. I think this is going to be one of those incremental improvements that it's a little bit better, but it's not like, oh my gosh, mine's no good anymore. Mine's outdated. I got to dump it and go buy something else.
Yeah.
I don't all suspect that.
Yeah, you're right about that. And it's going to take a major movement in picture quality to, I think, make you and I say, and I guess because we're terrible salespeople, but it's going to have to be a major difference before we're going to say, hey, sell it and get the new one. That case was proven in point with the Pulsar Helions, the Helion 2 versus the Helion 2 Pro. And there is a difference, but it was not one that we said, hey, you got to sell what you got and get this one. But I think the same is true.
We took some flack for that too.
We did.
There was a lot of people that it was funny.
Yeah.
It was really weird that there was a lot of end users of all people that were like, I can't believe you're saying we shouldn't go buy. I was like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, we're on the wrong side of this because we're in the position we should say, hey, sell what you got and get a new one, but we're on the wrong side of it. But
I do hope to see a slight increase, possibly. But I think this manual contrast adjustment's something I'm excited
That's
about.
a good thing. Yeah, because I think one of the things that we've heard from and talked about in the past was the lack of control with the picture image. This goes a long way in improving that. I do think that the screen difference is going to make at least a little bit of a difference in that. So, but here's the thing: the proof is in the pudding. We'll find out once we get this thing in. We test it out. The good news is you and I have used the Super Hogster a bunch. We seems like we sell a ton of them. It seems like they're always going out the door. So we have a lot of experience with it. And I know as soon as that thing comes in, we'll be cracking the box open on the first two. So just to see what it looks like.
Speaking of coming in, this is an immediate shipment as well. This is something that should be showing up on the next shipment. I mean, it could be here as soon as, within a week or less of you seeing this. Again, here we are in week of Valentine's 2022. So within a week of this, we hope to see it. Again, maybe it's a week after that. Who knows? We'll find out. But immediately we should be seeing it. Now I'm going to move ahead because I don't want to run out of time. Got another new scope announcement. This was something that I had heard mention of, we'd heard a little bit about, but didn't know much about it. I had no clue that this was something that was actually going to be an immediate release as well. Uh, there is going to be a Super Yoder 35, 35 millimeter that is a 2 to 8 power base mag. This is, so I mean, I want to reiterate in case you don't know what the Super Yoders are. Looks just like a Super Hogster, small, lightweight, compact, QD mount on the bottom, all that jazz. But it's 640, 12 micron, high resolution, awesome image quality. And they're going to have a Super Yoder 2 to 8, 35 millimeter for $3,795.
Man.
This is going to break another record that we broke not long ago on this show when we talked about this will now be the least expensive, high quality 640 thermal optic that we've, or I mean, I shouldn't say optic, thermal scope that we've ever sold.
Yeah.
So $37.95 for a 2-power Super Yoder. It's going to be, again, I said 640 by 480, 12 micron OLED display. It's going to be just like the Super Yoder 50 millimeter. That's a 3-power. That scope is $45.95. So it's going to be, significantly less money, and it's going to be fantastic. We cannot wait to get this unit. This is going to be what the hog hunters are going after. I think if you're a coyote hunter, you're still probably going to want to lean to that Super Yoder to get that. Super Yoder 50 millimeter to get that 3-power. But for hog hunters, wow, this is going to be a popular scope.
And just like that, folks, the prices of the 640 resolution stuff is tanking. No, it's
plummeting.
It is, yes. So we did a review of the Super Yoder 3-power, the 50 millimeter, not that long ago on my YouTube channel. I just did a full review of the 50 millimeter Yoder. Fantastic scope for $4,600. We really felt like that was a good deal for the quality of the optics you were getting, everything you were getting. Great scope. This, I think, was a we knew something about this was coming. I didn't think we knew the exact price point. And when you and I found out the price point, we were like, oh my gosh, this is I hope you see it, folks. This is a turning point in our market as far as the prices of this high quality, high resolution, these thermal optics, because $37.95, yes, it breaks another record as far as the lowest price for a quality 640 scope. But this is gonna get everybody's attention. Other companies are gonna see this. They know that to compete, they're gonna have to. They can only do two things: they can increase the value, or they can decrease their prices. And it's now, with this coming out, there's more and more distance between this Super Yoder, the 35 millimeter, and some of the scopes that are in the $5,000 to $6,000 range. And it's going to take it's going to be a big deal. This is going to take a lot of sales away from some really good scopes because of price. But I'm going to tell you, if this is anything like the 50 millimeter Yoder, this is going to be an awesome deal, because that Super Yoder, the Super Yoder 50 millimeter, it's a legit scope. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it other than that.
No. And this scope, by the way, current ETA is sometime in March 2022. Yeah. So that's the current ETA. It's maybe not tomorrow, but it's very soon. So we're definitely excited about that. Listen, folks, we've talked about a lot of stuff here. We talked about the coming LRF and the Super Hogster and the Super Yoder 50 millimeter. We've talked about the very soon to be here Hogster Vibes. Got the Super Hogster A3, and now the Super Yoder 35. All these scopes are going to be available at Outdoor Legacy. If you have any interest in one of these scopes, give us a call. Hans and I are glad to help you. We're glad to talk to you about any of them. I'll say this: if if you know these scopes aren't out at, I can't even talk out yet, and we don't have them, we're telling you all we know about them. You know, what we're telling you right now is what we know, but in just a matter of days or maybe a week or so, we hope to have these in our hands, be able to tell you everything about them. We would love to have your business if y'all are interested in any of these units. So definitely give us a ring at 877-350-1818 if you're looking to purchase one of these and got some questions. We would be glad to help you.
Yeah.
Now, and like I said, we're going to be reviewing all these. We'll review them all on this channel first, right here at the Late Night Vision Show. But then Hans will be reviewing them over time on his channel. Takes him a lot longer because he really gets out there and tries to get some video hunting and stuff with them. So that obviously takes a lot more time and energy. Go ahead.
It does take a lot of energy. Trust me. My body feels it. No. So we had to do this show, y'all, and I know it kind of seems weird because we just did not that long ago a whole show about Bering Optics and new stuff coming out, but there was so much confusion, so much rumor, chatter on the internet. There was some correct information and some wrong information, a lot of wrong information, and there have been people that have called like today and said, you haven't had the Hogster 35 in stock in a little while. You know, what's going on? Why don't you have it when you're getting more? We really had to clear this up, not just for you guys out there, but we needed it to be on the record for us too, because we want to make sure that we are giving you the most accurate information, the latest information that you can get, and also to continue to be a resource. And for those of y'all, again, that are looking at purchasing something, there's no better way to get more clarification on the proper optic for you than give us a call. But I need to talk more about me.
Oh man!
Because
listen, y'all.
You're creeping
you can
into
just
my
tune out the next 15 minutes if you don't want to hear Hans bragging. I'm gonna sit back and take a nap. Y'all tell me when it's over.
So first of all, I need to thank Jason and Outdoor Legacy Gear, our company, again for the 4th year in a row. You heard me talk about it before. This weekend was the Conway Farms Predator hunting tournament. So this is the 4th year we've done it. Outdoor Legacy Gear has been a sponsor of that every year. This year we gave away a door prize of a Sightmark Wraith 4K Max, and there was a lot of jealous guys that went home empty-handed, but one lucky guy that did win it and was very happy about it. But every year we have lost. My team, which I'll give a shout out to the guys. Tucker Conway, who it's his tournament. But we started this in our area, a little small town, East Texas. It's just really something fun for a group of guys to do. Most of the teams that we're hunting against, we know a lot of them. They're in our area. They live in our area. And it's just for bragging rights. We never thought it would get too big. We were hoping it got bigger just because that makes the pots bigger. But so Tucker Conway, it's his tournament. He's obviously on the team. We got Blake Davis and Monty Schultz are all on our team, and it's been that way since day one. A good group of guys. We've hunted together quite a bit, so we have a pretty good rhythm, even though we don't hunt with each other all the time. The best that we've ever placed, and this is a predator hunt, so it's a point system. So a lot of you are familiar with it. Some of you aren't, but it's a point system based on the amount of animals that you bring in. So for an example, coyotes get 10 points, bobcats get 15 points, a fox gets 5 points, and a raccoon gets 1. And the most points wins. And they had side pots of biggest pig and biggest bobcat and biggest coyote. But we've won some side pots before. I think the best that we ever did was 2nd place. And I'm going to tell you, that was the very first year. The very first year, we thought we had it sewn up. I mean, we were moonwalking at the end of the night. This is the first year. We had 8 coyotes, and we were kind of checking around with the other teams, and nobody seemed like they were doing any good. We didn't even know what sandbagging was, when it came to reporting how many coyotes that you actually had. We thought we had it sewn up. We went into the weigh-in and the check-in, and were devastated. I think we got 2nd place. Another team came in with, 12 or 13 coyotes, maybe a couple bobcats. Did really good. Great team, very good, very talented team. So our hearts were broken after that. And every year since then, it's been not great hunting. Last year was a week after Snowmageddon down here in Texas, and we didn't really shoot much. But we were motivated, Jason, and you're part of this team because I'm I'm part of Outdoor Legacy, and Outdoor Legacy's a sponsor.
Well,
So,
I was there in spirit while I
you
was
know, a
sleeping,
buddy of
and
ours,
y'all were out all night in the cold. I was
a
sleeping.
buddy of
So
ours, a good fan of the show, a really good customer of Outdoor Legacy, Mr. Matt Jackson. Every year he's like, "When's Jason going to come to the tournament and see us?" And I said, "Well, you know, he doesn't leave Nacogdoches County very much." He's like, "Well, I saw that
no,
he was in Vegas a couple weeks ago." I was like, "Yeah, he was kind of forced to do that, but no,
yeah.
you got some guys over there that want to see you. Maybe we'll have to get you out next
Well,
year." But
well, I'm not. I say this: they may get me, but they're not getting me at 4
no,
a.m.
no,
on
I
these
didn't say
cold
you'd
nights
hunted
hunting.
it.
I'll be asleep at the camp
And
house over
every
there.
year I've got to psych myself because it starts at 4 p.m. and then ends at 9 a.m. So it's a 17-hour hunt overnight. And every year I get a year older, and I've got to talk myself into doing it a little bit more because
Gosh.
it's tough. When this tournament first started, it was a 24-hour tournament. Anyway, so again, I felt, you're part of this team, Jason, by proxy because of your sponsorship. And every year, man, I felt like I disappoint you. Not really. Only you want to know why I feel like I disappoint you, because you
Oh,
tell
this
me
is
every
great.
year you've disappointed me. I'm such a
Oh,
disappointment
that is not
because
true.
I've
He is
lost.
he is
So
lying,
no,
lying,
no,
lying.
you're very gracious about it. I can feel that you laugh on the inside because of the fact that we stayed up and didn't win. But so I feel like
Yeah,
I'm not just
exactly.
representing myself, but also Outdoor Legacy when I hunt.
I do have to admit, every year when they lose, I'm always like, "Phew, man, I'm glad I didn't go stay up all night to
Yeah.
lose." No,
You're like,
so
why do you
yeah,
put yourself through this? Why do you do this?
I
It's
do.
torture. It's
I
self
do.
torture. So this year, and to wrap up the story, I want to keep it long. This year, um, we switched things up a little bit. I was the call man, and not saying that because we won or anything. It was just a great night. The Coyotes were moving. They weren't really moving. It seemed like for other teams because we just had everything was flowing right. We were
I
hitting right
think what you're
spots.
trying to do is say you're the good man and
No,
I'm a
no,
caller.
no.
That's what
Tucker usually is the
you just
call.
got lucky.
Tucker's the call man, and he's done a good job in the past. I took over this year just to try some things, but anyway, the spots we got lucky, and the spots we were hitting, we knew there were coyotes. There were places that we don't hunt very often, which is tough because I don't have a lot of places that I don't just hunt out a lot. But so I had some buddies volunteer and offer up some land for us to hunt. Anyway, it seemed like almost every stand we were seeing coyotes, and the guys on our teams, I mean, they're legit shooters. They had brand new rifles. I think they got the rifles done the same place I do. I'm gonna give him a shout out too because he's a sponsor. Mr. Ben Johnson over at Back 40 Firearms in Athens, Texas, makes some great rifles. He built a rifle for me. I got another one he's building for me. But these boys put on a shooting show, and I've got some video that I'll be putting out at some point of these coyote hunts. I was kind of doing some editing today of it, but we were just on a roll. Coyotes were responding. They were rolling in. And this time of year, everybody wants to know what calls were working. And I'm going to tell you, for us and our team, the vocals were really working, and breeding vocals. So I was using a Lucky Duck caller, and it's one I've been using for a little while. And I was using a call. I don't even know if I should say it because I don't know all the competitors
Probably
next
shouldn't.
year. But no, I was using a call called Stuck Fight. So basically a breeding coyote fight. And there was a lot of turned on coyotes. I don't know. They thought they were coming in about to get some action because they were showing up where we were calling in groups of 3 or 4 at a time. And needless to say, we ended up winning. We won the whole tournament. I'm going to show the buckle right now. Tournament champions for the Conway Farms Predator Hunt 2022. Got a nice belt buckle, got a little bit of cash prize out of it. We ended up with 10 coyotes. We could have got more. We had one that we know that we shot that we couldn't find that got away. That was it. Other than that, there were some coyotes that probably could have made some shots on, but they were going to be even more difficult shots.
How many teams did y'all have?
There were 21 teams. So out of 21
That's
teams, we got,
turnout.
and a good friend of ours, Ashley Rowe with R4 Legacy. He hunted in it too. I noticed that he was entered in it. So he hunted it. There was quite a few. You probably know Colton Pochel and Sam Housewer with Thermal Feed on Instagram. They hunted it. They were in there. They shot a bunch of pigs and some coyotes. So we had a great turnout, and we got squirrely and lucky, and we won it. We won the whole thing. And
I'd rather be lucky than good.
And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to do exactly what Tom Brady should have did last year, and that's retire. So I'm officially announcing my retirement from any I'm going out on top, baby. I'm going out Super Bowl champion. So
I do not believe next year at this time, folks, he's going to be calling me.
Yeah.
I can't stay awake. I'm so tired.
Our pro staffer, Patrick, ETX Thermal Hunter on Instagram and YouTube, he keeps trying to talk me into doing all these tournaments. I'm like, nope, not doing it. And the reason why I did this one, obviously, is because we're the sponsor, and I've done it every year. But I've tried to talk myself out of doing any more tournaments because it puts your body through. You know what I ate for dinner? 2 old soggy Taco Bell bean burritos that we heated up on the vent of the Jeep. It was 23 degrees at night. And I had 2 old burritos that I bought earlier in the evening, and we put it on the vent, the defroster in the Jeep to warm it up. And it was still icicle cold, but it was the best burrito I'd ever eaten.
Do you know about that time I was in my bed under the covers? It was nice and warm, heater blowing.
But man, I'm happy I could bring home the gold medal for you, Jason. This win was especially for you. Wasn't for me. It had nothing to do with me.
Does that mean I get the buckle?
No, you don't get the belt buckle.
You
don't get the belt buckle.
Oh, I thought it was for me.
You don't even get the value cash prize back from what you sponsored. I mean, you just get a handshake and what can you do for us next year? But thank you very much.
Exactly. That's what I'm used to. That's okay.
And all the others.
Well, I'm glad y'all actually won. Congratulations. And
going out like Tom Brady, y'all. Sayonara. Signing off.
Tom Brady. We'll see. We'll see about that.
Yeah. Well, it is. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for staying with us for this show. There's, the reason why we got to tell these stories is because people ask. We do. I get people ask about tournaments.
A lot.
There's a lot of people that ask, hey, how'd you do in the tournament? Or, man, I want to do it next year. So we will always mix in a lot of these stories, but we thank y'all for staying with us. Hey, this has been the show, clearing up some misinformation about Bering Optics. The accurate information up to date. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to find more episodes, all past 197, you can do it on the latenightvision.show.com. Find all of them there. Obviously, Facebook. Please go share it on Facebook. Thumbs up, like the page, help us grow on Facebook. We'd really appreciate it. It helps the show. It helps our industry. It helps everybody out there. The more information they can get. I had a family member, real quick, that said, I saw your podcast on Facebook. You're famous. And I was thinking, I've done this for 3 years and I get on Facebook once and I'm famous. So that's awesome. But anyway.
And I didn't want to tell him, but it's been on Facebook since day one as well.
Well, so. I guess because he could actually see a show, actually view it on his phone anyway. But you're right. A lot of people don't want to get off Facebook to go somewhere else to watch the show. But yeah, go help us out on Facebook. We'd really appreciate it. Share the episodes. That's great. YouTube, the Late Night Vision Show, also on Facebook, Instagram. Go check us out there. Outdoor Legacy. You can find Jason over on Instagram and on Facebook at Outdoor Legacy, and on YouTube, Outdoor Legacy. And me, you can find me 2 places. Well, actually 3. You can find me at YouTube, Hans ETX, Hans ETX, doing all the reviews and hunts over there. Instagram, y'all all know I hang out all over there. Videos and pictures daily, just about. And then also, you may not know, but I have a website. Outdoor Legacy on CTX is my website. It's a blog, so there's videos, there's pictures, there's information there too as well. But thank y'all. Hey, we're creeping up 200 episodes very soon. We're gonna do something special. And you're thinking oh gosh, what are we going to do?
Yeah. When Hans says we're going to do something special, it normally means open your checkbook. We're going to do something that cost me money.
Either that or the night before we're recording, I'm like, okay, what are we going to do?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, he goes, well, I told everyone we're going to do something
So we
special.
gotta
Now, what
do
is it? What
something.
are we going to do?
What are you going to
So,
buy
yeah,
me, and
exactly.
what are we going to do?
That's what I'm expecting. That's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
expecting. So, hey, folks, we hope you enjoyed the show. Again, if you're looking for any kind of Bering Optics or any other brand of thermal or night vision, outdoorlegacygear.com, or you can call us anytime, 877-350-1818. We appreciate all your business, and we look forward to all the future business as well. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you here next week, episode 199. Between now and then, y'all stay safe in the fields and keep making those bacon pancakes.